Speed creates the illusion of control. The faster the chart moves, the more the trader believes he is in command. Candles form, numbers change, and the hand hovers over the mouse ready to act. This activity feels like mastery. It feels like intelligence, but it is neither. It is stimulation mistaken for insight. The market does not reward the man who reacts fastest. It rewards the man who understands what is worth reacting to and what must be ignored. When price moves quickly, the mind tightens. Decisions become shorter, patience shrinks, and confidence is replaced by urgency. The trader no longer waits for clarity, he chases reassurance. Every entry becomes an attempt to regain control, not to express conviction. Losses follow not because the trader lacks knowledge, but because speed has stolen his judgment. He acts before information has matured, before probability is formed, before the market has finished speaking. True control in trading is quiet. It is the ability to watch price move against you without flinching, and to watch it move without you without regret. Speed does not build this strength, it destroys it. Fast charts demand opinions too quickly. They pressure the trader into believing that delay equals danger. In reality, delay is often protection. The market offers endless movement, but very few meaningful opportunities. Speed hides this truth. The illusion deepens when small wins appear. Quick profits reinforce bad habits. They teach the trader that timing noise can be profitable, that reaction is skill, that constant presence is necessary. But these wins are fragile. They rely on conditions that cannot last and confidence that collapses under stress. When volatility shifts or randomness asserts itself, the same speed that once delivered profits now accelerates losses. Control does not come from predicting every move. It comes from choosing when not to participate. The trader who slows down sees that most fluctuations are relevant. He stops negotiating with every candle. He allows price to travel, to test, to fail, to prove itself. His decisions become fewer but heavier. Each trade carries intention instead of impulse. Speed teaches the trader to fight the market. Slowness teaches him to align with it. The illusion of control fades when one accepts a hard truth. The market cannot be dominated, only understood. And understanding requires space. Space for context, for structure, for confirmation. Without that space, all action is defensive. In the end, speed does not make a trader decisive. It makes him busy, and busy men mistake motion for progress. Real control is invisible. It looks like waiting. It feels uncomfortable. And that discomfort is the price paid for clarity. Noise disguises uncertainty as opportunity. The market produces endless movement, and within that movement lies confusion dressed up as possibility. On short time frames, price never rests long enough to be understood. It flickers, hesitates, surges, and retreats, creating the impression that something important is always happening. The trader watches closely and believes he is seeing detail, when in truth he is watching randomness sharpened by speed. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. The human mind seeks resolution, and noise offers it quickly. A small candle becomes a signal. A minor breakout becomes a story. The trader convinces himself that action will reduce doubt, that participation will create clarity. But action taken in uncertainty does not resolve it, it only transfers it into risk. The trade becomes an emotional commitment made without sufficient evidence. Noise overwhelms judgment by multiplying choices. Every minute presents a new decision, a new reason to enter or exit. The trader becomes reactive, adjusting constantly, never allowing probability to develop. He is no longer trading a market, he is negotiating with his own anxiety. In this state, losses feel confusing and wins feel accidental, because neither were born from clear conditions. True opportunity is simple. It stands out because it persists. It does not require constant attention or interpretation. It reveals itself through repetition, through price behaving the same way again and again under similar conditions. Noise, on the other hand, changes its shape every moment. It demands vigilance and rewards none of it consistently. The danger is that noise feels productive. It keeps the trader busy, engaged, and emotionally in verve. Instead, he believes he is working hard, and hard work should be rewarded. But markets do not pay effort, they pay accuracy. and accuracy requires filtering. Without filters, the trader mistakes frequency for quality and movement for meaning. As noise increases, confidence decreases. The trader begins to doubt good positions and justify bad ones. He exits early, enters late, and explains losses with excuses that change daily. His strategy loses identity because it is constantly adapting to information that never mattered in the first place. When the trader steps back, noise begins to fade. The market slows down. Patterns become visible. Price either respects important levels or it does not. Trends either hold or they fail. Opportunity becomes rarer but clearer. Decisions feel heavier but calmer. Noise never disappears. It is part of the market's nature. But when uncertainty is no longer disguised as opportunity, the trader regains control over his choices. He learns that most movements deserve no response at all, and in that restraint, consistency is finally possible. Big moves require time to reveal themselves. The market does not disclose its intentions in moments. It works slowly, deliberately, building pressure, testing participants, and creating conditions before any significant movement becomes obvious. The trader who obsesses over the smallest fluctuations misses this truth. He sees candles change, indicators flicker, and numbers jump, but he cannot see the underlying for CES at work. The market is not a collection of isolated moments. It is a process that unfolds across hours, days, and sometimes weeks. To participate successfully, a trader must understand that patience is not passive. It is the foundation for seeing what others cannot. A big move rarely appears without warning, but its signs are subtle. They manifest as patterns that persist. Volume that accumulates and price that resists breaking certain levels. These are not noticeable on a 5-minute chart. They cannot be captured in constant scanning or rapid clicking. They require distance, observation, and the willingness to wait for proof rather than prediction. The impatient trader substitutes speed for insight, believing that being first is more important than being right. In doing so, he trades fragments of potential instead of the full move. Time is a filter. It separates meaningful activity from noise, fleeting fluctuations from structural change. When a trend is building, it does so with intent, and the evidence accumulates slowly. A single spike or pullback may look important, but it is often a test, a trick, a signal that the market is still deciding. Only by stepping back and observing price over a longer span does the true direction emerge. Big money does not act like a nervous participant. It accumulates positions cautiously, invisibly, and over time. Its footprints are not on every candle, but in the way the market reacts when tested. Traders who chase immediate movement often misread these early stages. They enter too soon, reacting to signals that are incomplete. They exit too quickly, fearful of giving back profit. And they constantly second-guess, convinced that speed equates to opportunity. They overlook the fact that real moves demand endurance. A trade that would have been profitable over a day or a week is destroyed by impatience compressed into minutes. Understanding that big moves take time changes everything. It changes how a trader approaches entries, exits, and risk management. He no longer seeks to be present at every tick. He seeks to be present at the points that matter. He studies structure, support, and resistance. He observes behavior at critical levels. He waits for confirmation before committing capital. His actions become selective, precise, and aligned with forces larger than himself. Big moves are revealed through consistency, not speed. They are the product of accumulation and distribution, of human emotion acting over time, and of the market testing its own structure. The trader who respects this understands that patience is not delay but preparation. He knows that missing early noise is not a loss, but an investment in clarity. Time transforms uncertainty into opportunity, and only those willing to let it unfold can participate fully. To see big moves, one must resist the temptation of immediacy. One must step away from the charts that flicker and demand attention. One must accept that the market will move according to its own rhythm, not the trader's. In that acceptance lies freedom, in that patience lies profit, and in that time lies the moves that matter. Patience is a trading skill, not a personality trait. Many traders believe that success comes from talent, intelligence, or cleverness. They think that the ability to read charts quickly or react instantly defines their edge. But the true skill in speculation is waiting. It is not waiting passively, it is waiting with purpose, understanding, and self-discipline. The market is patient, and it rewards those who can match its rhythm. Those who cannot are punished, not because they are wrong about price, but because they are wrong about timing. Every trade requires a decision, and every decision carries risk. Impulsive action increases risk unnecessarily. Patience reduces exposure to uncertainty. It allows the trader to observe price, test assumptions, and confirm probabilities before committing capital. The man who can delay gratification, who can resist the temptation of small, inconclusive signals, gains clarity. He enters with reason and exits with logic, not emotion. Patience is therefore not merely a virtue, it is a weapon. It sharpens judgment and magnifies accuracy, the two qualities that separate surviving traders from losing ones. Patience is often confused with inactivity. Many inexperienced traders see waiting as hesitation or weakness. They feel they are falling behind if they are not constantly engaged with the market. They watch 5-minute charts flicker and assume that every movement is an opportunity. They act on instinct, mistaking restlessness for insight. But true patience does not mean ignoring the market. It means observing it fully, understanding the context, and knowing precisely when to act. Waiting is not emptiness, it is preparation. Every moment spent in observation is a moment spent reducing risk and improving probability. Markets offer endless signals, but only a few matter. The impatient trader attacks all of them, overtrading, overthinking, and exhausting himself. He trades small moves repeatedly, hoping that quantity will compensate for lack of quality. He confuses volume of activity with value. The patient trader, on the other hand, focuses only on high-probability setups. He understands that most movements are irrelevant to his objective, and that the market will offer opportunities repeatedly. He does not fear missing a trade, because he knows another, better opportunity will come if he is prepared to wait. Patience also governs emotional stability. A man who acts impulsively is vulnerable to frustration, fear, and greed. He interprets every loss as failure, and every small gain as vindication. Emotions cloud judgment, and judgment errors lead to compounding mistakes. A patient trader maintains composure. He views loss as information, not insult, and gain as a reward, not proof of genius. By controlling impatience, he controls the quality of his decisions. Finally, patience is learned through experience, observation, and discipline. It cannot be forced, but it can be cultivated. It is strengthened by following rules, avoiding overexposure, and resisting the urge to react to every market twitch. The trader who masters patience does more than survive, he thrives. He does not chase the market, he aligns with it. He does not hope for opportunity, he waits for certainty. In speculation, patience is the skill that turns knowledge into profit, hesitation into precision, and waiting into power. Short time frames encourage reaction, not alignment. The 5-minute chart, the 1-minute chart, even the tick chart, all of these compress time and amplify motion, giving the illusion that the market is urgent and that the trader must act immediately. Candles form, patterns appear, and the mind convinces itself that insight is available at the pace of the flicker. The problem is not the chart itself, but the mindset it fosters. It conditions the trader to respond to every twitch, to treat every pullback as a threat, every spike as opportunity, and every minor fluctuation as a message meant personally for him. Reaction becomes a habit. Observation becomes rare. The trader reacts first and asks questions later, often discovering too late that what he acted on was meaningless. Alignment, by contrast, requires distance, context, and patience. It requires understanding the larger currents beneath the surface movement, and positioning oneself where the market will naturally come, rather than where one hopes it will go. The trader who reacts is a slave to short-term noise. The trader who aligns is a master of timing and scale. Short time frames hide structure and exaggerate volatility, and in doing so, they rob the trader of perspective. A support level on a 5-minute chart may seem critical, but it is often irrelevant in the context of the trend unfolding over hours or days. A breakout on a minute chart may appear decisive, but without confirmation from broader structure, it is likely a trap. Reaction focuses on immediate appearance. Alignment focuses on probability. Reaction is emotional. Alignment is strategic. The danger of reaction is compounded by speed. Human psychology is wired to respond quickly to stimuli, and the market exploits this naturally. Sudden moves trigger adrenaline, fear, and greed. The trader feels compelled to act, believing that hesitation equals loss. He enters trades too early, exits too soon, and frequently changes direction, convinced that he must control outcomes that are not meant to be controlled. Each reaction is another layer of risk, another opportunity for loss, another step away from clarity. Over time, the accumulation of small errors destroys confidence, judgment, and capital. Short-term charts teach false lessons. They make the trader believe that activity equals skill, that more trades equal more profit, and that frequent monitoring guarantees advantage. In truth, the market does not reward presence. It are Eward's correctness. Every flicker does not contain a signal, and most candles contain nothing more than random noise and transient sentiment. The trader who reacts to every minor movement is drowning in noise, losing focus on the trends and levels that truly matter. Alignment requires understanding that not every opportunity is worth taking, and that ignoring inconsequential movement is often the greatest skill of all. Alignment, on the other hand, develops through observation of higher time frames, study of structure, and recognition of market behavior over sustained periods. It is not about predicting every fluctuation. It is about recognizing when the market has committed and positioning oneself accordingly. A trader aligned with the market does not chase. He enters when confirmation exists and exits when conditions dictate. His decisions are deliberate, measured, and consistent. Reaction is impulsive. Alignment is deliberate. Reaction follows chance. Alignment follows probability. Reaction is frequent. Alignment is selective. The consequences of failing to align are subtle at first, but devastating over time. Small losses accumulate. Small wins are reduced to luck. And the trader develops habits that erode discipline. He becomes attached to every candle, emotionally invested in every minor swing, and unable to maintain composure when the market behaves as it always does, randomly and unpredictably in the short term. He misinterprets minor fluctuations as signals, leading to overtrading and unnecessary risk. The more he reacts, the less he controls outcomes. The more he reacts, the more he chases illusion rather than substance. True alignment requires patience, observation, and detachment. It requires the discipline to watch movement without interference until the market reveals its intentions. It requires the understanding that trends are built over time, that accumulation and distribution cannot be observed in 5 minutes, and that real opportunity is rare and significant, not constant and fleeting. The trader who aligns does not compete with the market's short-term motion. He positions himself to benefit from the momentum that develops when the market has made up its mind. He uses short-term charts for execution, for refinement of entry and exit points, but never as the foundation for decision-making. Reaction can be addictive. The immediate feedback of entering a trade and seeing a small win or loss provides a rush, a dopamine spike, a sense of involvement. Alignment offers no such gratification in the moment. Its rewards are delayed, cumulative, and substantial. The trader aligned with structure experiences fewer trades but higher quality. He suffers fewer surprises, preserves capital, and develops confidence not through constant action, but through repeated validation of method and observation. Short time frames also amplify emotional fatigue. Constant monitoring, repeated decision-making, and frequent engagement exhaust the mind and weaken judgment. Every minor swing triggers physiological responses, adrenaline, tension, fear, which cloud reasoning. The reactive trader interprets emotion as insight, and insight as confidence. Alignment, conversely, demands emotional control. The aligned trader understands that waiting is not weakness, that observing is not inaction, and that not every movement requires response. He cultivates the mental space to see the market as it truly is, rather than as he fears or hopes it to be. In conclusion, reaction is a trap of short-term thinking, impatience, and emotional engagement. Alignment is a strategy of observation, timing, and probability. The trader who reacts to every 5-minute flicker never sees the market clearly, never participates fully, and rarely survives long-term. The trader who aligns with market structure understands context, and waits for confirmation, sees opportunity emerge with clarity, acts with precision, and builds results that are consistent and sustainable. Mastery is not found in constant motion. It is found in selective action guided by understanding. Reaction is easy, alignment is hard, and the market rewards only those willing to endure the discipline required to align themselves with its movement. Fewer trades, better judgment, longer survival. This principle is often overlooked by traders because the market bombards them with constant movement, endless charts, and the illusion of endless opportunity. Many believe that success comes from acting on EV. Airy signal, capitalizing on every candle, and maintaining a constant presence in the market. They monitor the 5-minute chart, the 1-minute chart, or even tick charts, believing that speed and activity equal intelligence and advantage. In truth, this mindset leads to overtrading, emotional exhaustion, and the erosion of capital. The market does not reward busyness. It rewards clarity. It rewards discernment, precision, and the ability to remain aligned with conditions that favor probability rather than reacting to every fluctuation that appears. The fewer trades a trader takes, the more deliberate each decision becomes. Each entry is chosen with purpose, each exit executed with confirmation, and each position sized with reason. When trades are selective, judgment is sharpened. The trader learns to distinguish between fleeting noise and meaningful signals, between temporary deviations and structural shifts. Over time, the mind becomes trained to observe the market, not to chase it. Patience develops, self-control strengthens, and confidence is built on repeated validation rather than random success. By taking fewer trades, the trader reduces exposure to unnecessary risk while simultaneously increasing the quality of every engagement. Better judgment comes from observation, experience, and restraint. Every trade taken in haste carries the possibility of error because it lacks the full context. Short-term charts and frequent impulses encourage acting before probability has formed. The trader who slows down and chooses trades carefully gains perspective. He can see patterns as they develop rather than reacting to partial information. He can observe behavior at critical levels and wait for confirmation before committing capital. This patience allows for clearer evaluation of risk, better timing of entries, and more precise execution of exits. With improved judgment, even fewer trades can generate significant results because quality always outweighs quantity in speculation. Longer survival is a natural consequence of fewer trades and better judgment. Overtrading wears down both capital and confidence. Every unnecessary trade increases the likelihood of mistakes, magnifies stress, and accelerates psychological fatigue. Emotional responses, fear, greed, impatience, are triggered more frequently, each one nudging the trader towards suboptimal decisions. By reducing the number of trades, the trader preserves capital and mental energy, ensuring that he is in a position to capitalize on high-probability opportunities when they appear. Survival is not about winning every trade. It is about maintaining solvency, composure, and discipline long enough to participate in the trades that truly matter. Taking fewer trades does not mean ignoring opportunity. It means filtering opportunity through the lens of probability, structure, and risk. The market offers signals constantly, but most are inconsequential. The trader must develop the skill to recognize which sign. ALS align with broader trends, critical levels, and confirmed patterns. This selectivity requires discipline. It requires the ability to sit quietly while the market moves, resisting the urge to act on impulse. It requires trust in observation over instinct, confirmation over conjecture, and alignment over anticipation. By choosing carefully, the trader ensures that each engagement carries weight and purpose. Better judgment is reinforced by reflection. After taking trades selectively, the trader has the capacity to analyze outcomes, understand behavior, and refine methods. Every mistake becomes informative, every success becomes instructive. Over time, this reflective process builds a mental framework that guides decisions consistently. It allows the trader to separate emotion from logic, probability from luck, and insight from distraction. Judgment improves not because the market changes, but because the trader has learned to engage with it in a disciplined, measured way. Longer survival also cultivates opportunity. The trader who avoids exhaustion and preserves capital can wait for the setups that offer meaningful reward relative to risk. The market moves in campaigns, not moments. It tests, consolidates, and eventually reveals its direction. Those who are constantly active miss these developments because they are too busy reacting. Those who trade selectively are ready when conditions mature. They are positioned to participate fully with sufficient capital, composure, and clarity. Survival, therefore, is not a passive goal. It is the foundation for success. Fewer trades also reduce the influence of emotion. Each trade carries psychological weight, and repeated engagement magnifies stress. Fear of loss, desire for gain, and frustration over missed moves cloud judgment when trades are frequent. Limiting activity, the trader stabilizes the mind. Each decision becomes deliberate rather than reactive, measured rather than impulsive, calculated rather than hopeful. Emotional control reinforces better judgment, and better judgment reinforces selective action. The cycle strengthens over time, producing consistent results and preserving capital. In speculation, the market does not reward constant attention, frequent action, or the illusion of omnipresence. It rewards discipline, alignment, and insight. Traders who take fewer trades act with precision, see clearly, and preserve the ability to survive. Better judgment allows them to recognize opportunity, manage risk, and execute effectively. Longer survival ensures they remain in the game long enough to participate in the moves that matter most. This is not a shortcut, nor a guarantee of success, but it is the path to enduring performance, mental clarity, and eventual mastery. By focusing on fewer trades, cultivating better judgment, and prioritizing survival, the trader transforms activity into strategy, impulse into precision, and noise into meaningful opportunity.